The day has finally come for Blade and Sorcery Nomad. The scripting mods is here. Well, kind of. Hello and welcome back to Downloadable Content. Today we're going to go over the news that Blade and Sorcery just dropped about Blade and Sorcery Nomad's scripting beta. Kick things off, Baron says that they have some surprise news about scripted mods being now available. They have released a potentially buggy / crashing build available for people who want to test it. So they are running it as an opt-in beta to prevent it from being pushed to every user who may not want it. But first, some context. So when they say mod scripting, that just basically means advanced mods. So on the PC, the modders were always able to make advanced mods just because of how Windows is and is more complex. But for Nomad, it wasn't really available because of the hardware limitations of the Quest. So them doing this has always been altruistic. It's been in the back of their mind. And it hasn't always been the forefront like, hey, let's get this game out and let's make sure it supports scripted mods. But they were always thinking, hey, it would be awesome if Nomad players would be able to do this. But to make scripting available on Nomad, that meant coming up with a custom solution that overcame the Quest limitations. And we can see here a little picture of a dude in Nomad using more slots, which is a coded mod. So if you guys didn't know, it would literally require custom coding for a solution from scratch to achieve something unprecedented on the Quest. And like Baron and I have talked about in the past, there are third-party applications out there like Lemon Loader, which have their own solutions, but the unprecedented part for them was wanting to make it a hassle-free solution for the players, so it's optimized specifically for Nomad, so they can just click download and the mod would install. We have more in-game screenshots of this mod here. This is called Threat by Huge Honor. It enables you to, well, hold the blade up to enemies' throats and make them surrender to you. And you also have Ice Clones, which is a new mod, full scripted, working in Nomad as well. Blade and Sorcery actually hired someone to specifically work on a way to get scripting mods to be supported. And the job was estimated to only be about 1 to 3 months. The goal was simple, just make complicated mods that are PC VR style work with the Quest. However, what would happen, the builds that they would come up with would be constantly buggy and crashing, which is the worst thing that can happen. And there were plenty of times where they were so close to releasing it, it would be days or a week from a completion, and then the next day it would crash, and they would now push it back to months. And if you guys remember, they actually had teased this a while ago. They showed Mystic Hands by Lineca working natively in Nomad. But then next, everything crashed. So this work is actually like a weird type of programming, as we're going to call it. Really, no one else on the Warfrog team could really weigh in and kind of help this person out. It was exclusively in their hands. So the Baron says, after builds that work, then don't work, then work again, we found we have hit a brick wall. The current situation is some mods are working, some mods are not working. To test the waters, this past week we ran a private beta, so a beta of a beta, for modders to see how successful mod porting might be on this build and see if it was even worth releasing in the state. And to the pleasant surprise, there has been success and even more than expected. I have always said, give it to the modders and they will figure it out. Baron continues saying, well, at least some mods are working, and this encouraged them to release the beta as of right now, and we will see how everyone likes it and gets their hands on it. They would like to emphasize, however, that they are still really disappointed that this journey has not been such smooth sailing, and they expected that the release of scripting beta was far from the original expectations and their wishes. So they are apologizing to the fan base, which is sweet. You know, I don't really think they need to apologize. I think they're apologizing because they teased it and it's been a long journey, but it's okay. So now that we've made it to this point, if we're feeling brave enough to proceed, here's how we access the beta. So step 1 is to go to the Nomad store page and log into your account. Step 2 is scroll down until you see version. Step 3 is click on the drop-down arrow and choose scripting 0.12.3. And finally, step 4, when you use your quest, you will see the game has a pending update. So this update is the scripting update. So go ahead and let it do its thing. The scripting beta version of Nomad is the exact same thing as the U12.3 live version, but the only difference is that this beta can allow users to play with scripted mods with will otherwise not load. So with the scripted beta version, you can download scripted mods from the mod manager or from Nexus Mods, and they will work just like a regular mod. Now, a very, very important caveat to understand is that scripted beta does not mean Nomad players can download and play PC VR mods. Mods still need to be ported to Nomad, but now there is a path for modders to port some PC VR mods to Nomad. But it's also super important to point out that some mods are just flat out not working. And it's also for mysterious reasons. So don't heckle these modders and say, hey, let's get the multiplayer mod working on Quest, because some things literally just straight up don't work still. And that's kind of the point of this beta. And then we could see some more examples, like we have half sorting by Nishka there. So half sorting lets you half sword, hold it from any point of the vanilla weapons, which is awesome. And you also have Heartbreaker by Hugh Johnner, which I love that spell. It's awesome that it is on Nomad now. I also want you guys to understand and know that some modders will still exclusively use Nexus mods, which means that you cannot get them with the in-game mod manager. You have to manually download them and sync them with either an Android phone, computer, or a Chromebook, however you're going to do it, and install them the manual way by dragging and dropping them into the folders. In closing, they say, that's it, guys. We made this beta because we know that there are issues with it, including possible crashes. However, this is an opt-in beta, so if you opt in, we are taking this to mean that you have read the news and you understand the risks and nuances of this release. So do not review bomb the game on the Quest page if a mod crashes your game. Please don't do that, just in general. And finally, if you find any scripted mod bugs or crashes, please report them directly to the modder themselves first and not Warpfrog, because it is the modders that are going to be helping Warpfrog with these technical data on scripting. So if you do run into an issue and you're like, hey, I want to report this, don't send it to the Warpfrog team. Just give it directly to that specific modder, because they are there to help. So huge thanks to the scripted modder pioneers over the community Discord who are massively helping. You guys are awesome. And there you go, my friends. That is it. That is the Nomad scripted beta news. It is awesome. This is a home run. The modders are going to step up and really help out, so I am very excited. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And while you're there, consider subscribing. It is free. We're trying to get to 150,000 subscribers by Christmas. I know we can do it. But other than that, thank you so much for stopping by. I'm Drifter from Downloadable Content, and I will see you next time.